let me start with actually, from Nepal Tourism Board. Barai suru garnu parla jस्तो लाग्यो, because you are the key stakeholder in this sense. So as a rep of Nepal Tourism Board, I mean, what do you see the opportunity and trend for these, like for the tourist? And this is also now one very good marketing product for the tourism board, into, like, for your, when you go into these marts, that when you like explain to the audience or your travel partners, they can seamlessly pay digitally, is a really exciting. Uh, so what is specific promotional strategy with the tourism board implement to attract more tourists from Alipay enabled countries, would be my, or anything that you would like to share and add.
Okay. Thank you, Sanjib. Uh, in respect of specific promotional campaigns for Alipay, I'm very pleased to share that Nepal Tourism Board has been promoting in aforementioned countries already, and promotional campaigns in international promotional activities. Tourism Board has been active for the last 26 years, and this is annual and a regular phenomena. So the different kinds of promotional activities, like we participate in international tourism fairs, we do sales missions wherein we have B2B sessions. We collaborate with diplomatic missions of Nepal abroad and the Nepalese diaspora also to have destination promotion activities internationally. So we already have a lot of promotional activities being done outside. So for a particular activity, for a particular convenience that is added for the tourist, for the international tourists, for the said countries, I think what we can do is basically have a communication strategy, because we're already doing the promotion activities. So we'll have the communication strategies that Nepal has added one more payment platform as an enhanced convenience for the tourists from these countries. For that communication, basically, we can do the communication, but before that, what I see is, until and unless it is available in our area, in Nepal, if we do not have trade partners using the platform, then it's no use actually communicating to them. So what I see is, first of all, our tourism partners whom we work with in these promotional campaigns, they're also here. I think we should have a kind of awareness and a knowledge sharing sessions, maybe in collaboration with NCHL and maybe with the representative from Alipay, so that we can have onboarding or adoption of this platform among our trade partners. Then while we're going into these promotional activities abroad, then collectively our trade partners and NTB, as a part of destination awareness campaigns and even for B2B sessions, in those activities we can have highlights and we can communicate that in those countries, particularly the aforementioned countries where the Alipay is more active. So there's Alipay, a new and enhanced payment platform, which is available in Nepal for them, so that they do not need to use any cash or have any cash in hand to go to Nepal, but they can just carry their mobile in hand and they can have their shopping of, you just said, the local crafts, they can have the local cuisines, they can celebrate among the homestays, they can celebrate the cultural activities among the locals. So the strategy basically, in short, is we prepare our trade partners to adapt to the technology, adapt to the platform, and then collectively we already have those promotional platforms. We communicate to the other side, the trade operators of the globe, that Nepal is ready to accept the Alipay-like payment
Thank you. That's excellent. Mr. From what I'm also thinking loud, here is, perhaps the tourism board can create an environment for the, to partner with the airlines, and also, as you mentioned rightly, with the Han hotel associations, and also the tourism operators, NATA, maybe they could, and there's some operator ecosystem into trackers, and there's a whole ecosystem. I think you have access to that. So maybe both external and internal stakeholder, there can be something, any thoughts on that?
Yes, previously I just stated that the trade partners means basically I'm talking about the trade associations. We
Okay,
have
great.
NATA already here, Han we have here, SOTO, NATO. There's a lot of trade associations, and we can have practically what we can have is we can have some sort of seminars or workshops wherein we share the knowledge. We'll have an interaction, and what is the process of adopting the platform, and the trade associations having their members in their list. Further down, we or they themselves only, they communicate to the individual operators and businesses, and that way we can actually onboard the trade operators, tourism operators to adapt to the
Perfect.
platform, and then we can go ahead.
Right.
For
I think
communication
that's a
part.
very good opportunity for both NCHL and Alipay to collaborate with tourism board on a regular basis to disseminate
We are
this.
always happy to
Great.
actually have sort of session.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Let me move to actually Anilji now, because one of the very key stakeholder of all this as a representative of the banking industry. So Anilji, this is very exciting, and with the NBA member banks, or NBA is not just for the commercial bank, but I would say representing the entire banking sector as an apex body from that perspective. So how can banks collaborate to expand Alipay merchant coverage nationwide, especially in remote tourism areas and trekking routes? Of course, we don't want to be too romantic, but having a bit of a inclusivity would also help. Any thoughts on that? NBA as a partner to carry this forward.
Thank you, Sanjib. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. And many congratulations to NCHL and Alipay Plus team for this great opportunity. We saw in the presentation earlier as well, the sort of access we have, right? So 1.7 billion or so customer base that Alipay has. That in a way, maybe not all, but a chunk of that user base could be potential customers for us in the days forward. So I think there's a lot of positive aspects for us to look at. And obviously relating it to tourism as well. So even if you look at last year's data, very encouraging. Our officers here from Tourism Board are here. We've seen that out of the 1.1 million tourist visitors, almost 10% were from mainland China. So that itself represents a huge potential for us in the days ahead. From the banking perspective, I think a lot of it would relate to collaboration. And in terms of what was shared earlier as well, to the concerned stakeholders, including at the government level as well, and the tourism board. So a lot of collaboration would be required, I think, in the days ahead, and obviously with the sort of local payment partners as well that we need to look at. And the banks obviously would probably need to, we need to look at sort of onboarding merchants and in the popular tourist areas as well. We saw on the video clip earlier as well, use of sort of payment models. It could be in the trekking routes, restaurants, right from when you land at the airport till they sort of leave the country. There are various areas and there are various opportunities for us to sort of tap the customer base as well. So I think all the ecosystem players who are engaged in it, I think that's where we need to look at to increase the coverage. And with the data and with the expertise, that Alipay has, especially on the cross-border thing, there's a lot for us, I think, to learn and take up from there as well. They started cross-border in 2012, I think, referring to the earlier conversation. We started about a year ago. So they have a massive experience, and then we can look at what models has worked in different countries, different economy like ours, how it could relate to tourism. I think those are the areas that we need to look at. And along with that, I think other thing that perhaps we need to look at in terms of increasing coverage is how obviously you can provide incentives in the earlier days as well. Offering discounts, as we saw earlier on, could be one of the models. And from the customer's base as well, like FX rate could be something that obviously we need to look at to ensure that there is no reservation from the customer end. But more or less, sort of collaboration and awareness is the key, I would say. Organization like us, banking sector, banking association. When I mean banker association, it could, as you said, it could be entire PFIs. I think we have a critical role to play on this as well, and jointly in collaboration with NCHL, I think there's a lot for us to do in the days ahead.
Thank you, Anilji. I mean, the market size of tourist spending in Nepal, if you go by the data, I mean, NRB may have right data, but my research says it's about 83 billion rupees of tourism income. Sorry? 75 billion rupees, okay. So that is about $500 million, about that. So that's a pretty big, from that perspective, and it makes a lot of sense for, Nepal to invest in this kind of stuff. So let me come to actually now to Neelesh from NCHL. So congratulations, Neelesh, first. I mean, that's really awesome to, both to Khun Sittipong and Neelesh. Khun is a respected salutation in Thai. I lived in Bangkok for 10 years. So the K in front of name is K. If you see K dot, that is for KHU and Khun. So Khun is to pay our respect to the gentleman, Sriman Vanasteo. But the Khun actually is interchangeable for both men and women, both, right? Anyway, so, all right. So from the perspective, let me just, how is NCHL ensuring? I think the main challenge here is, so real-time switching issues and settlement between Alipay and local banks. So can you just walk us through the bit of a very brief architecture? So, how is NCHL ensuring secure real-time switching and settlement between Alipay and local banks? Maybe that is one interest for the trade partners and the merchants as well. It is, just give us some insight into that.
Thank you, Sanjib ji. Thank you once again. Regarding the working flow and the security aspects of the cross-border integration between Nepal and Nepal's NEPALPay QR and Alipay Plus, what we have done is there is something called as a national payment switch in Nepal, which has been established, and part of that, the NEPALPay QR retail payment switch has been established in Nepal and running $650 billion transactions every month through that platform. So what we have done is, in terms of the international transaction or the cross-border transaction, we've extended that retail payment switch to have a separate and independent component that will talk to the international networks of the clearing houses, so that it remains independent with the core switching components of Nepal. So whatever the business logics or the controls or the securities or even the FX or any business validation that is required for the cross-border transactions, there could be the sanction checks, or there could be the FX validations, or there could be some other merchant-related checks and balances. These are actually done as a separate component which remains immune to the core infrastructure. So from an infrastructure perspective, this is normal standard international practice to do it separate from the core infrastructures, one. And second, when we talk about the cross-border transaction, and from a very technical perspective, and then there is a fund flow perspective. So in order to do the fund flow, we are just a network or the infrastructure provider, so is an Alipay Plus. So there has to be a banking arrangement via which the fund actually flows, the dollar actually flows. If it is an inbound transaction, dollar flows from the respective countries, which will be the responsibility of the Alipay Plus to manage that fund to its settlement bank. And then there is an arrangement between the settlement bank of Alipay Plus and NCHL, so where we get that fund. And then when the fund actually reaches into our settlement bank here in Nepal, then the local transaction in order to fund the acquiring bank, which is actually the partner bank of the, could be a partner bank of a hotel of the tourism sector, then the fund actually flows from NCHL settlement bank to the stakeholders or the beneficiary of the merchant's bank, and then that bank will be responsible for crediting the merchant, as is actually done in the local transactions as well. So the fund flow is actually standardized. There is no multiple intervention or the multiple banks engaged in the Alipay Plus, whereas there could be a different model. Like in India, we have a multiple banks basically acting as in corresponding banking. So we get the funds from different banks. That's a different one. But when it comes to the P2M related transactions, normally in the other networks also, it's a single bank or the single settlement bank who actually handles the funding part of it. And when we will be enabled for the outbound also, we'll be basically funding the NCHL's settlement bank, through which the international outgoing fund will go to the settlement bank of Alipay Plus. So from the fund management perspective, it will be standardized, it will be easier, and from a business perspective, or the travel and the tourism, whichever your banking partner is currently, your banking partner is, and you're getting that NEPALPay or the other smart QR from your bank, you will get the credit of that fund on the same bank account on itself.
In the same day.
It'll be easier, cost effective, and in terms of the settlement, similar to the card network, in card also, the settlement normally happens for the international transaction T+2. So in the Alipay Plus also, it will be the settlement will happen in T+2. It's not going to be in real time for merchant payments.
Okay, so that was my major, like, you know, so it's not real time. So it's T+2.
T+2.
2. Okay, so it's still T+2. All right. Okay. So is there any, like, you know, like, I mean, I was trying to compare that with the incentivizing from the card network. So card network is international T+2 right now. So is there any way where we can bring more efficiency into this settlement process?
If we are comparing it with the card network, we'll have to see it from not only from the settlement cycle perspective, but the kind of an opportunity that the QR network actually provides to the customers, for us, the local businesses on itself. So today, in a card network, it's primarily driven by the POS machines, which is hardly 30,000, 40,000.
Yeah, hardware cost is pretty high.
Hardware cost is there.
Yeah.
Plus the penetration of those POS machines is limited, and is actually available in the larger tourism players or the operators only, hotels and bigger travel agencies, the operators only. When we go down to the lower strata of the smaller businesses also, that is why the QR acceptance is so high. One, it is convenient. Second, it is cost effective for deployment, both for the banks as well as the merchants or the businesses to accept the funds through QR payment. So we are talking about the acceptance through over 1 million merchants getting an access directly right now on itself with this Alipay Plus.
That's
and
awesome.
add to that the customer opportunity or the customer access to the international customers that it will bring in. So from the business perspective, and add to that, if we compare with the international card networks, the MDR part of it, which is runs at around 3 to 4% as of today, which the tourism sector is actually paying for accepting the card transactions. So it will go down at least by 50% down.
So this is still MDR. That was my second question coming.
Yes.
So there's the MDR is there, but comparatively this is very competitive.
It's a lot more cheaper
lot
for
more cheaper.
the merchants and the local businesses to accept with QR.
Excellent. Awesome. All right. So let me move to Khun Sittipong now. I mean, we'd heard from the, like the industry stakeholders. So again, congratulations to you, Khun Sittipong. So this really exciting moment for Nepal after cross-border with India that we opened up, like last year P2M. So this is another exciting journey that Nepal as a digital economy or destination that we are trying to do. Right. So how does Alipay plan to grow its merchant network and ensure smooth operation in all major tourist hubs across Nepal? I mean, you're working with your local partner anyway, collab, but your what I noticed is like your platform that the consumers are using are very creative and very agile. So I mean, you could still use that from the consumer side. But on the local side, as we said, what are your plans and what's your experience in other similar economies? You know, like I'm sure in Cambodia you're live, you know, and other economies. So any local initiative campaign that you can share?
Sure. Certainly, Sanjib. We start off on the merchant side. We are definitely going to build on the payment and merchant infrastructure that NCHL has built, along with all the bank partners here, right? And based on this, you know, we will use the Alipay Plus platform to promote not only the digital payments, but also providing the digital, you know, destination marketing and lifestyle platform in order, you know, to draw more tourists to Nepal, right? And moreover, you know, if you look at the way and how we operate, as Mr. Neelesh has mentioned, we on the integration side, we're providing a one-stop integration and one-stop settlement process. What that essentially means is that, you know, as we bring in more wallet partner, because currently we have 17 today, but overall, I think if we also count the online, you know, wallet partners, we now have 36. So that it's going to be an growing ecosystem. As we bring more wallets to Nepal, NCHL would not need to do any additional integrations. So we will, you know, based on the existing integration, we will provide that streamlined onboarding approach along with the settlement. So you don't need, there's no more headaches for, you know, NCHL or the bank partner, right, to be able to accept more wallets. And as you can see, so this is, you know, we take an open and collaborative approach. And, you know, just to delve deeper on the merchant side, you know, it's actually in our DNA that we want to promote the businesses and growth with the merchants of all sizes. So we're not only for the big guys, but we are really focusing on growing and you know, the smaller businesses and merchants to be able to fully reap the full benefits of you know, the users that Alipay Plus, along with our marketing capabilities, you know, for all the merchants in Nepal.
All right, excellent. I also felt, you know, like, is Alipay Plus is working like in a tune with the super app as an aggregator, or it's a lifestyle app, or is it a payment app?
It's everything that you have mentioned.
You know, okay.
Yeah. So of course, I think, you know, for the wallet partner, the most basic function is of course they need to have the payment functions for anything to work, right? So, but on top of that, you know, what the Alipay Plus solutions offer to our wallet partner is that once they build the payment infrastructure using the Alipay you know, Plus API definition, then on top of that, they can also adopt our, we call it the Alipay Plus rewards, you know, marketing, you know, stack built on top of that payment stack. So based on that, they are able to feature merchants, be it the mini programs or an H5 page, to be able to customize their offers to our users, right? And then it also enable the, you know, on the merchant side, to be able to, you know, customize, as I mentioned, customize the offers, and they can also target which type of, you know, customers and wallets, you know, because, you know, as I think, you know, as you've rightly mentioned, we have, you know, we have partners in all the key source markets, be it in China, be it from Thailand, Malaysia, you know, Hong Kong, Korea, and we will have Japan by next year, right? So, so the merchant partners, you can look at the, you know, the seasonality of the tourists, and by source markets, and you can even target by different source markets. So depending on your strategy and also the type of destinations that you would like to promote, be it here.
Yeah, I'll come to that. I have more questions related to like the local market promotions partnership. I think let me actually now go to Shubash sir. So Nepal Rashtra Bank as a regulator. Few things like coming to my mind, sir, after like hearing all the stakeholder. So it looks like there's a huge opportunity, and there's more than as like 73 billion contribution to the economy is also it could grow. I think it's much more than that, both formal and informal, if you put it. One key area from the compliance aspect for the cross-border settlement, one is the data sovereignty, from that perspective, that is the topic being discussed very widely. So what is the NRB's thought on like data protection, that stuff? Another is like we had time and again discuss about, PCI DSS kind of a requirement beyond the card. It has, because that kind of compliance, I think it is only mandated for card, but I think it's time that with the digital payment, those kind of compliance also need to be, perhaps in one or other way, some creative approach could be there. So as a regulator, how is Nepal Rashtra Bank planning to oversee cross-border settlement flows to ensure compliance with foreign exchange at one side? There is as you can imagine, is the settlement is still T+2, and there's a float issues are there, of course, from that perspective, and the foreign exchange fluctuation, and the AML safety guideline, not to mention the data sovereignty that I mentioned as well.
Thank you, Sanjib ji. First of all, I would like to congratulate NCHL and Alipay Plus for this collaboration. So regarding the NRB's role in the payment systems, we basically perform three types of roles. One is as a regulator. We formulate different rules, regulations, we issue guidelines. In that sense, we have defined different rules for payment system security, for transaction settlement, for AML safety compliance, for foreign exchange. So NRB has defined many rules. Similarly, we also perform as an overseer of the payment system. So we oversee the payment systems with the objective of safety and efficiency. Safety and efficiency are at the core of our oversight function. Similarly, we also support and facilitate payments or these type of collaborations as well. So in this regard, NRB is always in the view of ensuring safety and efficiency of the payment systems, and we are always there to encourage payment flows are efficient, and it ensures safety and efficiency. Regarding AML rules, definitely this enforcement of AML rules are there are some shared responsibilities, and some responsibilities are for different participants. For example, in the context of Alipay transactions, banks or PSPs who onboard the merchants, they are responsible for KYC requirements and conducting due diligence of their merchants. Similarly, they are responsible for screening transactions before passing to the Alipay network. Similarly, they need to report to the FIU if there are some suspicious activity or suspicious transaction. So in that case, NRBs has already issued different regulations for foreign exchange, payments, and AML. So they need to ensure these requirements. Similarly, for the merchants, merchants are not directly regulated by NRB, but there should be a proper KYC or CDD requirement for the merchants, which need to be ensured by the banks or PSPs, and they are required to put the invoices of their transaction. So whenever there is transaction, whenever there is any dispute, they need to be able to produce those transactions. Similarly, NCHL as a partner or as a PSO, it will be responsible for monitoring the transactions, which will complement the transaction monitoring part of the whole payment ecosystem or transaction flow within Nepal. So ensuring safety and security of the payment system is the responsibility of different participants in the chain. So in that way, we have clearly defined AML rules. We have clearly defined foreign exchange policies. We have clearly defined different standards. They need to comply these standards. So regarding NRB's responsibility in these things, NRBs will enforce AML rules and ensures all the front transactions are happening according to the NRB's regulations, and all the foreign exchange rates are applied according to the NRB's foreign exchange reference rate. NRB carry out different audit and inspections of the licensed entities periodically. Similarly, if there are any weaknesses in the participants or in the network side, it will penalize, or it will penalize for violation in any rules. Similarly, regarding the settlement cycles, NRB always try to ensure the settlements are happening smoothly, so that it will not hamper the reliability or efficiency of the payment systems. In that way, NRB oversee the payment systems. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. All right, let me move to again tourism board. Just like we have a small tourism operator all over Nepal. I think they should also benefit from the Alipay acceptance, because let's say for example, any tourist going to Lumbini or then walking away into the small shops to buy some souvenirs or something. So त्यसको लागि चाहिँ नि, what do you think Nepal Tourism Board could collaborate to get it to the small community level awareness as well?
In this regard also, I would say the first thing is the awareness. The key activities that we need to do is create awareness and knowledge sharing and push for the adaptation. For imparting knowledge or the awareness, obviously Nepal Tourism Board have different programs running around the year, and just I would like to state here, we have been doing for many years, we have been working for capacity building in terms of digital platform adoption and digital marketing in such areas. So taking those programs and collaborating obviously again with possibly NCHL and the representatives from Alipay, we can create general awareness of the adoption, the utility, and obviously the benefits out of adopting this platform. And we have different channels to create awareness to those operators. We have local and regional trade associations, and we go through them. And for adoption part, I think it is up to NCHL and Alipay. Maybe they will have to work upon the sales promotion part. Maybe they will have to incentivize. Maybe they will have to distribute QR kits or reduce charges for early adoption or for some certain period.
For the small ticket, right? That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
That part, I think, the platform owners and the affiliated partners will have to do. And on our part, we can always engage into emanating the awareness part. And third, I don't know if it is, I should say, but I think in today's context, in very remote areas and local levels, they have adopted and they are doing transaction in local wallets, digital wallets.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, if possible, Alipay and NCHL they can integrate with those digital wallets as well, so that the tourists have the dual capabilities, like wherever they find the Nepal Pay, they can go through the Nepal Pay. And wherever they are already well versed into the local or other digital wallets, if they can integrate with that and they can use that wallet as well,
Yes.
then I think it will create a multiplier effect, or it will create more convenience to the tourist.
No, agreed. Agreed.
And-
Great. Anything you would like to add?
So, and in terms of like educating tourists about if we go into like integrating into further wallets, then again educating the tourist or emanating information to them. We have our platforms, we have our DMO website.
Right.
We are active in social media, so
Airport arrival.
we'll circulate the information,
Right.
and we'll use our communication modes
Thank you.
to intimate them.
Right.
regarding this.
So Anilji, I think looks like I'm getting more excited idea about like what other innovative products can churn out of this Alipay and NCHL partnership. So from your perspective, any thoughts because one idea I'm getting is can I'll come to Neelesh also on the acquiring side, issuing side. Any opportunity if that exists in future. But from banker association perspective, the one is most importantly with the cross-border enablement, the risk of increasing fraud also would go up. In other, one instance that we've seen, interestingly, the use case of, I was told by one casino operator, the use case of UPI, the Indian tourist, is mostly in the casino now. Particularly at the border area. Like people from the border area just walking into casino and using the QR, UPI for the whatever the threshold they have. But as long as it's under legit, that's a business as usual. But from your perspective, anything that do you find the opportunity for banking industry?
Thank you, Sanjib. I think just picking up on the fraud thing that you mentioned about, I think we can look at in both perspectives. As you said, it could be an opportunity for us as well, as long as it falls within the regular guidance, within the laws of the land, and it doesn't breach the AML compliance, anything as such. I think we should improvise that as an opportunity and see how we can benefit more to this. And in terms of innovative products and moving ahead, I think fundamentally, we need to look at a broader level. Obviously, we're talking about the collaboration right now, and obviously focusing on the tourist aspect. But I think more on a national level as well. Our concern currently is the spending of the tourist. So on average, what we have currently, a tourist spends around 13 days, right, on average. And then they spend about $41 on average per day. So, we have to find a way on how we can increase that spending. Because, they come from different parts of the world, they're here. So how we can increase their spending? How we can build up the ecosystem so that a tourist, when they land in Kathmandu and they spend a few days in a hotel and visit Tamil area or whatever, and then they go to the trek or anything as such. How do we build that package? That thing is primarily more important, and probably we need to, obviously, officers from tourism board is here, and obviously relevant stakeholders are here. I think we need to try and build that ecosystem first on, what an individual tourist would do when they land here. And to support that, then obviously we will come in and we will provide the platform, to accept the payments, to make that seamless entry, and this integration, whatever we are offering right now. So that will come into place. So primarily, I think our focus should be on a national level as well, is to integrate a package. And that package could perhaps be, we have a wealth of data. Obviously, Alipay Plus would have a massive data. And we have our internal data as well on the tourist spending, on the areas where they go. So based upon that, I think we need to start building certain products, which is obviously more adaptable in a local context. So we need to dig into that data. What has worked in the other world may not work here. So let us look at what is more specific and what is more sellable from our end. And I think based on that, we need to build the products. Something could be like, built-in package could be right from where we saw on the video as well early on, right from where they land, getting that SIM card entry into any heritage sites or museums or even a trekking route. The entire thing could be clubbed into a package. So at least they have this upfront spending thing. That's something that we could look at as well. And innovation, creating new products is already a good thing, but we have to be cautious because consumers they don't want too much of change, right? So we're used to a certain sort of platform. People using a certain app in the home country, they come here, they want this seamless sort of payment to go through as well. Then we don't want changes. Even for us, a slight change in our, for example, a mobile banking app, it takes a few days even for us to get used to, because we always prefer the previous version. It's a human nature, and then our aim should be to ensure that that hesitance from the user is not there, but at the same time give them that confidence that that obviously the payment that they're making here is obviously safe and secure, because they don't know the payment system, they may not know it. So we want to ensure that they have the confidence where they want to use the QR and make those payments. And obviously the opportunities, I think very rightly said earlier as well, on the remittance front. I think that's a huge opportunity for us in the days ahead. I think that's a possible areas where you can tap in. So a few things are there. I think learning from international market, adapting it into the local context, and obviously look into the areas where we can sort of build upon our strengths and create those products, and obviously engage all the stakeholders when we're working on this would probably be the way forward.
Yeah, thank you, Anilji. That's a very good, strong perspective from as a industry representative side. So Neelesh, coming back to you again now, before you share your final thoughts. NCHL is not just from my perspective, it's not just an ordinary PSO, it's a DPI, right? From that, when we look at it, stuff with the regulator and the entire banking industry as a key stakeholder of NCHL. So, in terms, the one accountability or responsibility of NCHL is also to roll out agile, scalable, and low-cost solutions, right? As part of the, the whole framework. So any thoughts on that? Any work similar to this, what can be done from the more cost-effective solution, the payment as a market leader? Is there or any other thought related to this you would like to share?
Thank you, Sanjibji. I guess I'm being hinted that we're running out of time as well. So I'll just keep very short on your question. So you rightly mentioned that from building the payments infrastructure for Nepal, we're moving and transiting towards building the digital payments infrastructure, DPI on itself. So the one of the payments layer, which we are already in, so we need to scale it up, make it more accessible for any of the entities who wants to run the businesses. They can ride on our infrastructure and build from there on. And second is the data exchange platform, which we already have a national payment interface in place as a part of the payments, which we are doing it for the payments layer. But that same infrastructure can still be used for transmitting the financial data also, which we are also doing it right now amongst the banks. For example, somebody wants to check the balances, check the names and the account name validations, opening a bank account, or the FD is being opened, or any other embedded services like the opening a new insurance or the investment SIPs related stuffs. These are already available in our NPI infrastructure. So we need to scale it up to support the second pillar of the DPI, which is in data exchange. We want to start with the financial data exchange platform, whereby the third pillar, which is the national identity part, which is already being taken care by the bank, by the one of the government agencies, NID, which is already in place. Having said that, we are only at the starting phase of having all three pillars of the DPI, whereby we need to scale it up all three and then build the use cases on it. So just having an infrastructure will not support the investment that has been made and it will not benefit the multiple stakeholders. So we need to work upon building the use cases on top of these 3 pillars, which I believe will be working very closely with the industry participants, banks, central bank as well, and other regulators or other government entities as well, if that is actually required. And the whole idea of the NCHL is to reinvest whatever we have been generating as in revenue or cash flow. We are reinvesting in such infrastructures, and that is why we are right now running almost 9 national payment infrastructures.
Thank you, Neelesh. I mean, of course, it is for the industry by the industry. It is more than a personal agenda. We're discussing the national aspects. So that's a great contribution. So, Sittipong, so any final thoughts?
Yes, I think, with based on all the esteemed speakers here, I believe that the tourism ecosystem here can really lean on the Alipay in-app marketing platform, right? Because this is and this is the beauty of working with an e-wallet, right? Because we can help be it our merchant partners or even the tourism board to be able to reach our users in more relevant ways. And
Right.
I think this is what sets us apart from competition. And this is something that we really like to integrate this as part of the tourism ecosystem. here.
Excellent, excellent. And thank you for working in this market. And we hope to look forward more innovation in partnership with NCHL coming to Nepal through Alipay, right? And for the local consumers, right? So, sir, Shubash sir ko perspective bada aba last ma final. I mean, if if Alipay would like to just come as an issuer, would that be something idea open? I'm just throwing the
Yeah, thank you. No,
or any other thing.
in Nepal also different international players are operating, like Visa, MasterCards, and UnionPay are operating. So if there are use cases, if it fits under our regulation, then we can welcome. So there is no issue. But currently, the NCHL is partnering with the Alipay Plus. So let us focus on in enhancing the use cases. NRB is always committed to digitizing the payments. So it is our topmost priority. So we need to ensure the safety and efficiency of the payment systems. So regarding the safety of fraud concerns we have raised, so first of all, we have to make our system resilient. Second part, we have to raise awareness among merchants, customers, our employees. And another part is effective implementation of AML rules and other policies. So by implementing these things, we can ensure safety and efficiency of the payment systems. Yes, thank you.
Right. I think with that note, many thanks to our esteemed panelists. I mean, just to wrap it up, I mean, we have had a very interesting, intense discussion. The opportunities are unlimited. I mean, it's an exciting moment for the tourism sector and also the economy, Nepalese economy, and for financial industry as well. So there's a huge opportunity, I think, with the digital payment live in Nepal through this Alipay market. I think we expect the growth in the volume and the size as we go forward. So with that note, congratulations once again, and thank you so much.